Does anybody tell the truth anymore? Does anybody, no, seriously.
Yeah,
People are scared to tell the truth. I don't want things in my life that I'm not wearing, driving, or the biggest thing is coveting. I don't have anything in my life anymore that I covet. And if I do, I just basically either give it away or sell it.
I want to be on your Christmas list.
Well, thanks, man. Well, you can come over to a Christmas party. I'm sure we'll have one. Okay. I want to be very clear. I was never an alcoholic, and I've never done a drug ever, never even smoked pot. I never had a drinking problem. I actually liked to drink before I got married, but I just.
All right, we're all hanging out here with Chris Janson, man. It's a family affair.
Well, it should be, man. I was like, dude, you got to let your kid be. It's take your son to work day, and I love kids. I wish mine was here. I wish mine was still that little to sit on my knee too, man.
People say that to me all the time. They're like, oh, I remember when my kids were this little. I'm like, well, remember them in the good times, because right now I'm struggling just trying to get out of Walmart.
You'll be fine, bro. Trust me, when they get just a little bit older, and it does not take but a blink, and then that's just so sad.
Yeah, well, let's start off on a happy note.
Yeah.
Me and the Beer.
Yep.
Big song, man. Where have you been out in the wild and heard it?
I actually hear it in a lot of towns that we tour in. You know, I don't listen to the radio too much just because as a songwriter, and other people will relate to this, you know, you don't want to listen to too many other people's music or you start sounding like that. But I've heard it here and there on the road. Heard it in a truck stop the other day, which was awesome. Heard it in Bass Pro the other day. That was even better, even more awesome, being a Bass Pro man. I love that song. You know, people think that songs like Me and a Beer, Good Vibes, Fix a Drink, Buy Me a Boat, those are easy to write. Those are actually the hardest songs to write for me. I can write you a poetic justice kind of song that's really heartfelt and all those kind of things. I can write you 10 of those now, but I can't write a Me and a Beer every day. It's almost too fun to, so you got to make it rhyme. You got to get a little scheme behind it. But man, I knew we had something special when we did it. We cut the new Wild Horses album at my cabin in Franklin, Tennessee, and we wrote it, recorded it, produced it all in the same day, every song, and just did it right there in-house. Set up a little studio shop, smoked cigars, and just did it the old school way, and actually a very unique way to the way most people cut records, the traditional, let's write the song, then have somebody tell you can or can't sing it, and then go into a studio and then have 20 opinions from people who don't make music tell you how to do it. I didn't have any of that this time, and it was really fun again.
And I love that, if people don't know, Chris has been sober since what, like 2007?
Yeah. Well, I want to be really clear about that. It's funny. It's funny you say that. I get that a lot. You've been sober since 2007. I want to be very clear. I was never an alcoholic, and I've never done a drug ever, never even smoked pot. I never had a drinking problem. I actually liked to drink before I got married. But I just
That's the quote.
Let me say, I may have said, I just want to be clear for the record on video and on audio. I may have said sober once in my life, and technically, yes, but I'll have a drink every now and again. But really the truth was, when I became married, I had 2 bonus kids, which people would call step kids, and I just didn't want to be the party guy anymore. I went through about a year or 2 of totally raging and doing what every guy does in his young 20s.
What's the most beers you had at one time back in the day?
I think the most was probably on the last date we had before we decided we were going to get serious. I drank 13 Coronas in bottles. That's a lot. In front of Kelly, and I was stacking them like a pyramid. It used to be a different name for the restaurant in downtown Franklin. It was a little Mexican restaurant, but now it's like, I don't know, it's some other Route 55 or something now. But she was sitting there. She had her boobs all puffed out. And I was like, she's so hot. And, obviously it was vibing. But anyway, I'm not going to say anything dirty. But but I was stacking those beers up. And she literally looked at me and she goes, are you going to be okay do you have a problem? I'm like, no, I'm good. It was good humor. But man, I just... that runs in my family a little bit through generationally. And, so that is why I chose not to be a big drinker. But I've fooled people along the way somehow. I think just saying like randomly, I don't really drink. I do drink every now and again. It's just very selective. Like if I catch a big fish, there's nothing better than catching a 10-pound bass and cracking a beer with Johnny Morris or whoever it may be. And I'm a big cigar guy, but the sobriety thing, I just wanted to be clear. There are people out there who really did have to get sober and use the word in a very sobering way. I was not one of those people.
One of those people we just had in here, matter of fact, Walker Hayes.
Yes.
You guys share a lot of similarities. Like,
I think he's a fabulous person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the relationship you have with Walker.
I don't know him very well. I don't really have a relationship. However, if he walked in the room right now, we would be hugging it out like we've been seeing each other every single day for the last 10 years.
Watch this. On paper, like you guys, if there was like a friendster, like you guys would match. You both like to hunt.
Yeah.
You both used to drink. You still dabble.
Yeah.
You're at the same age. Dads.
Yeah.
You got all kinds of kids.
Yep.
You love your wives. Like
He puts his family first.
If I put you two in a room together, like you guys are going to be sniffing. If you were dogs, sniffing each other's butts.
Yeah. Well, we're not licking butts, that I can assure you, okay? Sniffing butts, not licking butts. And you're so funny. You thought I was going to say licking butts, didn't you? But yeah, I'll just leave that for my own personal devices. But I ain't licking no butts, I can promise you. But I will say this about Walker. He took, like we all take hell for songs every now and again, like, there were even people when Buy Me a Boat came out, I was like, this is so cheesy. Or when I wrote Chuck Yeah from McGraw, oh my God, it's the worst thing I ever heard. Like, people are mean, and people are mean because they can't do it themselves. This is really the truth. I've been that guy, unfortunately, on occasion in the past, and you just, you got to grow up and get over it, quit being jealous. But I know Walker took so much heat there in certain circles, especially in the country music community, about, oh, this is not country and all this kind of stuff. That's the most country song on the radio at the time. No offense. It talks about country stuff. I think he actually has a song called Country Stuff too. But like, that's a Fancy Like is the one I'm referring to. I don't care who you are. That is a jam, dude. I play that in my pre-show music. I love that song.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really good. I loved the song AA that he did. I mean, funny, I never probably knew I was a Walker Hayes fan, but I am a Walker Hayes fan. He's a nice guy, and you walk up to him out on the street or something, and he acts the way you should, not like a pretentious country star or nothing. And I appreciate that.
As do you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also wanted to, we went through a phase where you were selling a bunch of your stuff.
Yeah.
Are you still in that phase?
Yep. Still purging.
Or do you ever buy anything? Like, you seem like the kind of guy that would shop on like Facebook Marketplace.
I do all the time. I have an account on Facebook Marketplace. It obviously doesn't say my name.
Okay, but when you show up, has anyone ever?
Every time. It works to my favor. You usually get a little more money out of somebody for doing it.
Okay, give me something that you've bought on Facebook Marketplace where someone was like, wait, you're Chris Janson.
Well, I don't buy a lot off there. First of all, if I do, I have it delivered, and I don't really ever meet anybody. I just have them drop it at the gate or something, and I'll leave cash for them. I'm just on the honor system. See how it goes, I bought a guitar like that one time. I bought a Les Paul custom shop off of Marketplace one time, and the dude brought it up, and he had zero clue who I was and didn't care, which I loved. But, I once sold a K5 Blazer on Marketplace to a guy who showed up, and he got out of his car, and he goes, holy expletive. And, I'm definitely buying it now. And I was like, perfect. If any skepticism was in the mirror, it's in the rear view now. So that's nice. But yeah, I do love Marketplace, and I'm not big on, I have all these social media accounts that obviously you got to have for the job that I'm in, but I don't, and I'm active on them, but only with Kelly. I don't feel comfortable doing social media by myself. I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But Marketplace is something I feel comfortable doing because it's basically the new Craigslist. Yeah. And and I bought, when I wrote Buy Me a Boat, most people don't know this, but I bought my used vehicle, my used Yeti cooler. I love your kid, by the way. I bought them both off of Craigslist, and I drove them to the co-write the morning that we wrote Buy Me a Boat. And it was, so when that's just a true story.
Dude, that's awesome.
But yeah, I'm that guy. And I've been purging my stuff still. It's funny. I actually had one guy, a watch dealer, a friend of mine. It's funny to say you have a watch dealer, but like I like high-end watches. I always have. And it was like one of the first things I wanted to get way back in the day. Long story short, he was like, are you hurting for money? And I was like, no, like quite the contrary. I'm just still on the path of least resistance. I don't want things in my life that I'm not wearing, driving, or the biggest thing is coveting. I don't have anything in my life anymore that I covet. And if I do, I just basically either give it away or sell it. I mean, I gave away a couple Rolexes, sold a couple during the first purge of things that I just had been hoarding in my safes and stuff. I gave a couple as gifts, and which were hefty gifts. And then I sold a couple, and yeah, I'm just a one watch guy these days. I just drive what gets me there. I just don't really care. And I kind of take the Dierks Bentley model with that. If you ever been around Dierks, he's a lot that way. He's a very simplistic guy, and he seems pretty happy. I'm a lot happier. I'm a lot happier personally. That's it. I just like spending time with my kids and wife and hunting and fishing and.
I want to be on your Christmas list.
Well, thanks, man. Well, you can. You can come over to a Christmas party. I'm sure we'll have one. Okay. And it's better to give than to receive, and it's blessed my heart. It really has blessed my heart. But yeah, it's interesting. Some of the things that I sold during the first purge, some of the coveted things that like don't look at it, don't touch it, don't drive it, don't scratch it. It loses value. All the things that you accumulate in your life, and then you have to worry about upkeeping it. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Meanwhile, you're missing your kids grow.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. Well, a couple of those things I got rid of, and biblically speaking here, they say, if being a Christ follower, I don't know how this lines up with the Bible, but I just know it's a God thing. I got rid of some of that stuff, and then some of that stuff made its way back to me, and I didn't even have to buy it. It just made its way back to me, which is kind of weird in a cool way. But yeah, man, I just, I'd rather give it to charity or something.
The new record is out. What's Kelly's favorite song?
Wild Horses.
Okay.
And it's not because she co-wrote it. We did write it together, but we wrote it with our friend Pat Bunch, who passed away 2 years ago at the ripe old age of 83. And you may say, gosh, I can't believe you're writing with an 83-year-old woman. But like, dude, people who are older than us, man, they got the stories, and they got the I don't give a damn, which is beautiful. And something that I've actually walked into myself quite recently, but maybe more than ever. But we wrote Wild Horses with her, and she called us one time and she said, hey, I read an article that said your live shows are like, in so many words, like a wild horse that were never meant to be tamed, and unbridled, unfiltered. And I thought that's perfect. And I wanted it to be the title of the album just because it's sort of it's in so many ways, it's kind of a middle finger to a person at my last record label who told me they didn't hear it, didn't sound like a hit. The typical people who just want you to record what they want to write, even though they don't write songs, play songs, sing songs. They don't even really like country music. They just like to tell you how to do it. So I got my new imprint, Harpa 60, that I partnered back with my original label, Warner Brothers. Super happy. They're super happy. Everything's so beautiful. And Wild Horses was like, just, it was a big kick in the teeth to anybody who naysayed it. Because people love the song, and I love the song. What
was the biggest, what were some of the little intricate deciding factors for you to go back to your original label? Like, were they like, hey, man, we'll give you a desk?
No. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't want anything. I just follow my heart. I just follow my heart, really. I pray a lot. I ask God for direction on things. I just didn't feel right where I was. For no other reason, I just didn't feel right in my heart about it. And if I don't feel right in my heart about stuff, I just don't do it anymore. I know, isn't that funny?
It's Donkey Kong.
Same with you. But I love that kid. But no, it was really just on my heart. There's a lady over there who used to be the head of artist relations and A&R and picked records and stuff. And her name is Chris. And me and my wife, it's okay. Me and my wife have been close with her when we were there. And when I first departed Warner, it was sad for us. We liked working with her. Now she's top of the food chain. And so after I was able to make these talks happen, we invited her over and we just talked about it. And I just said the truth. You tell the truth. You don't have to lie about anything. I just said, hey, look, I feel like I made a mistake leaving. We were having great success together. I'm not in a place where I really have to have it or have it. Either one, I'm could have been different. But I just want to make music over here again. And I'd like to hang my hat here, and I'd like to do it. And it was just as simple as, cool, I think we should do it. I think that's great. So I was really honored. I was really honored, honestly, because how many times do you ever hear of an artist leaving a major record label and then going back to that major record label 3 years later and also saying, oh, by the way, I'd like to have my own imprint so I can keep creative control. And it was the easiest deal that I've ever had in my tenure of the music business.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm really grateful for it. I really am. And Harpa 60 is under the Warner umbrella, but we have our own promotion staff for radio. And so, as much as it is aligned, it's also a 2-lane road. which is really nice. And me and Kelly have done it just the way we've always done it. We just run this stuff out of the house. We've always done it that way, dude. We've never changed.
Right.
We just, it's certain times during the juncture, fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, it works both ways. But, sometimes we've just been under the thumb of things that didn't work well for us. But the Wild Horses record, I made totally independently at my cabin. I made it before I had a deal structured, and felt really good about it. So nobody told me how to do it. Just did it my way. Wrote, recorded, produced it at the cabin. Put a record deal together and did it. What's
the one song on the record that you hope your fans can draw like a lesson from?
Give a Break to the Broken. I'm going to embarrass her again, but I also wrote this one with Kelly. May I say that she is a fabulous songwriter. Aside of being my wife, she's a really good person, and she's a great writer, and she's really talented. She's not a musician or a singer, but she's a great lyricist, and she has really good ideas. It was her idea. I can't take credit for it, but it all started about seeing a waitress at the Waffle House with a black eye and had been going through a domestic abuse situation, and just two women venting to each other. Kelly talking with her and this lady talking to her, and that's how the idea came together. And so there's a lot of snapshots in there about give a break to the broken. You don't know where people have been or how much the hell they're going through. And that's really the majority of people. So even me, like people, even now, I mean, there's things that I'm going through that, you wish were a little bit better here and there, but everybody has got problems, and we mask it so well because society teaches us to mask it. It teaches us to just forget about it and post a picture on social media and pretend that you're happy. And most people are actually miserable because of that, and so give a break to the broken really puts an emphasis on it. And it's very a positive song, but it could be a little uncomfortable for people because does anybody tell the truth anymore? Does anybody no, seriously.
Yeah,
people are scared to tell the truth. They're scared to, for the most part, especially in mainstream top 40 country, which I'm thankful to be in, but people they want the fluff. They want what feels good for 3 minutes. And this record has a lot more depth than any of my albums. I think just because when I wrote it, not only did I not have any restrictions, but I didn't really have a game plan. I really didn't. I spoke it into existence. I said, you know what? I'm going to make this album. I told Kelly this. I told my little inner circle. I said, I'm going to make this album, and I'm going to get back with Warner and do it. And everyone around me, and I mean everyone, said, that's not going to happen. There's no way. I mean, how could that happen? Well, you have a positive attitude and you speak it into existence. And believe me, folks, the American dream is alive and well, and it can happen. And so if I seem happy, I am.
Dude, what was it like working with Jamey Johnson on Hunting Season?
Great. That's my favorite song on the record. Thank you for bringing it up.
Okay.
That's a true story. Going on 2 years ago now, or a year ago, I guess, technically, a year and a half ago, September, I was coming home from an elk hunting trip, and a buddy of mine in Florida called and said, hey, man, my brother, Graham passed away, and I was close with both of them. We're hunting buddies. And would you come down and sing at the funeral? Dad's asking if you'd come down. So I did, and I went and hugged the father at the procession, and he said, Chris, this is going to be my hardest hunting season. And it's true. And so I went home and I wrote the song the next week at the cabin, and it was a tribute to a friend that I lost. And I've always wanted to do a duet with Jamey. Jamey's, in my opinion, probably one of the greatest voices and artists of country music of modern times and of the last, 20 years. And I just texted it to him. I said, hey, man, just want to get you on this if you'd consider it, And he hit me. And he's a great guy. We have a good friendship. He hits me back pretty usually right off the bat. And he said, I'd love to. And just send it over and we'll get it done. And then I waited a couple months and I thought, well, he forgot about it. But in Jamey's time, he got it done. And when he did it, it was very eloquent. And he said, what do you want me to do on it? I said, I want you to just sing whatever you feel comfortable on. So he took the whole bridge and did a great job on it, and could not be more grateful, man. We've had good history together. He's joined me on stage a bunch of times, and I have joined him, and we've done some Merle Haggard tributes and some cool things together over the years. And he's my favorite artist. So it was a dream come true for me.
From someone with a successful marriage like yourself, what do you want to say about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting engaged? Do you have a comment on that?
Yeah, congratulations. I think her music is awesome, and I think she's a fabulous songwriter. I mean, I don't understand anybody who doesn't think that. I mean, she's a chick who writes her own songs, and they're really relatable to guys and girls. So congratulations. I don't know her, and I don't know him, and I don't watch football, and I don't care at all. But I'm just telling. I mean, I don't. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, I just you in a day and time where people are miserable and miserably married for the most part, if they're telling the truth. I'm happily married, and I hope nothing but the best for her. I hope nothing but the best for everybody. If you're going to get married, it's a commitment, and it starts with trust and love and honesty and friendship, really, honestly. My wife is my best friend.
You used to be on the label with Kenny Chesney. Any good Kenny Chesney stories?
Yep.
He gets ready to go in the Hall of Fame?
Yep, I'm back on the label with Chesney now.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm a huge fan of his music. Most people probably don't know that about me, but I'm a mega Kenny Chesney music fan. I don't know him personally. We've met a few times, but I love his music, and I love it primarily because Casey Beathard wrote most of it, and I love Casey Beathard. But yeah, I didn't know he was going into the Hall of Fame. Pretty young to be going into the Hall of Fame.
You didn't know? I just told you?
Yeah.
Whoa, I want to be living your kind of life, dude. I wish I was unplugged.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. For as plugged in as I am on so many forms and facets, I'm super unplugged. I told you at the beginning of the interview, I don't listen to other people's music.
Wow.
It's no offense. People ask me all the time, what are you listening to? What new artist do you like? I mean, I like one new artist. His name is Chase Matthew. I don't even have any idea what he sings. I just like him.
Wow.
He's a nice person. It's no offense to the music.
Kenny's going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. His song "Boys of Fall" is like my favorite. It reminds me of this time of year. But he's a fabulous person. But I would like to say congratulations, Kenny. I think that if there's any artist who's not old yet, and still viable in today's market, but has been viable for a long time and has set a sustainable career, that's the kind that I would like to shoot for myself. We've been very successful. I'm thankful for the success. If it stopped here, we did really good. I conquered everything I wanted to conquer. But if you can go randomly and sell out the Sphere for however long the Grateful Dead did, then in my book, you're doing it. And he's doing it. And also, back to the same label home, ironically, he works, I'm sure he works with other people, but he from what I gather, he works pretty hand in hand with only select people, which he should. And the same lady that I mentioned that that runs the label and we're in partnership with, Chris, she works hand in hand with Kenny, and she works hand in hand with us. A very hands-on approach, personal, we don't always have to talk about music. So we have something in common there at least, but man, a huge congratulations. I always say there's two pinnacles in country music that you get or you don't get. Sometimes you get one, sometimes you don't get either, and sometimes you get both. One's the Grand Ole Opry membership, and one is Country Music Hall of Fame. I'm already one. I hope to get the other someday, and I hope it happens for him too. Would be great to have him at the Opry.
Well, and finally, I got to check in on your friends, man. You just happen to have some famous friends. I need to check in on how's The Rock.
Yeah.
How's, who's the other one?
Bret Michaels.
How's Bret Michaels? How are all your buddies doing?
They're doing great, man. I haven't talked to The Rock in a few months, but that's not uncharacteristic.
Okay.
We go through spurts where we talk a lot, and then we go through spurts where we don't talk at all.
Sure, same. He just doesn't ever text me back.
I know, right? So what a guy. But no, he's awesome dude, as I've said before. But he travels the globe all the time, making movies and doing things, and he's busy. He's a dad. So when I hear from him, I hit him back. And when he hears from me, he hits me back. And I just leave it at that, We connect when we connect. We got an Opry appearance we're supposed to be booking, but we just haven't solidified it yet, but we will.
What's he going to do with the Opry play?
We're going to, yeah, we've made a pact that he's going to debut on the Opry with me. We're going to do the whole thing. And I don't know when that's going to be, but we've been talking about it for going on 2 years now, but we will make it happen. We just got to let the stars align a little bit.
You're the only guy that can call out The Rock right now and not get punched in the face. I envy you for that.
I told him
Come on, Rock.
I told him one time we were messing around. I said, I'll wrestle your ass. Ain't no problem. But I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm serious. But I say that in good light. But I'll tell you, I bring up Bret Michaels, and people ask me a lot. Who's the most famous person on your phone and all this stuff. And if you think about it, if you think about Bret Michaels' career with being just him and being in Poison, one of the biggest hair metal bands of all time, pretty famous person. He is so awesome, dude. He is so much cooler than 99% of any other famous person I know. And that's not to trash them. It's just the truth. He's really a common dude. I mean, he would sit here for hours and talk with you and drink coffee and just hang out. And, like, he's just normal. I don't know how to explain it. Like the other day I heard from him, we were in Los Angeles working. And then ironically, I get a text from him. I think he lives in California a lot of the time. And he was like, "Hey man, just checking in. Want you to know I love you, my blood brother. I love you so much. And I'm thinking about you. And I'm putting together another show for us to do together." And it just happened to be when I was in California. So that's kind of cool, God's timing. But I hope he sees this. There's nobody that's more humble that I've ever met than Bret Michaels. And my wife reminds me all the time, like in moments where I get stressed out or pissed or just mad or don't want to do something, she's like, "Just be Bret Michaels through it." Because I've seen that guy be so kind to people. Luke Bryan's the same way, kind, good people, good role models. Honestly, good role models for people. So I like to try to be that as much as I can.
I was gonna say, some people are saying that about you right now, man.
I'm just doing the best I can. Thank you. I'm just doing the best I can. I don't know. Every dog's got their day, believe me. But a guy like Bret, I just can't say enough good things about him, especially being at the level of fame he is. He's like The Rock. He can go anywhere and people recognize him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool.
Well, dude, thanks for coming by, man.
Thank you.
Love the record, man.
I really appreciate it, man. This is my favorite album, like I said. And for those people out there watching this and hearing this, man, I encourage you to give the Wild Horses album a listen. It's 15 tracks. It won't take you too long. And I really wrote this thing directly from the heart and took some time to do it. I wanted to do it the right way, and it was super organic. So if you like real stories, I wrote them all. And, the production it's not auto-tuned and all the things that I have been a part of in the past. It's just raw and organic and and real. It's real. And I hope you enjoy it.